Hey traders, welcome to my Sunday review, which is actually Monday because it's Martin Luther King Day today, so happy holidays to all of my friends in the United States. Um, Quick review here for the week ahead. Actually, we're going to start off with a review of the week behind and take a look here. A couple of really important things I want to point out to you guys here. We have, I'd like you to take a look here at all this red. Now, I'm not going to get into the exact methods that I use to do my technical analysis. That's something I do for my students and also in the room. However, I do want to just point out some key important things, and I'm going to give you, a projection for the rest of the week, rest of the month going forward. Looking at all this red here, and I'm not going to get into each number, but there is something really, two numbers that I do want to dig into right here. That's January 6th, looking at the ADP non-farm employment change, 256,000 versus 193,000. And let's just look at this number here. You'll see that's quite a big jump. And I want to draw your eye a little bit lower here. Again, more red here in manufacturing. And I want to draw your eye here to Friday's, January 8th, non-farm employment change, 292 versus the 203 expectation. Now, a lot of traders get frustrated with fundamental analysis because they don't understand that the numbers change in significance. I want to repeat that. Different numbers change in significance. And we've already got a Fed rate hike out of the way, so we know that the market does not really care too much about the employment numbers because there's no more fear of a rate hike coming in. Those numbers have lost all their significance. Now, let's go. Not only have they lost their significance, but you could have known that in advance. Now, what's really super important here is looking at a chart. If we look at the 6th, we got zero response and reaction from the market on the 6th, and then again on the 8th, having a huge important number come out, and the market just completely ignored it and closed at the lows. We are going to test 182 on a SPY, folks. It is coming. If it's going to come this week, I certainly hope so because I have a ton of short positions going on right now. I've been shorting this market since December, and I had to sit through a bit of nonsense through the holidays, but ultimately 182 is in sight. Now, what's really important here to realize is not necessarily 182, but what's really important to realize here is, how are we going to get to 182? Because we are going to test 182. That is going to happen. And, the question will be, will we test it this week or will we test it next week? Now, here's what you want to understand. The market is paying extremely close attention right now to China. And we have data coming out, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 6 months of contraction on Chinese GDP. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not contracting, meaning below zero, meaning 6 months of decreases. And, the market is expecting a lower number, 6.9, higher number than the expectation in October, but a lower number in general in terms of the actual number. So a lot is going to depend on tonight's GDP number coming in at 9 o'clock. Now, not just the GDP in and of itself, but industrial production. And if we look at the data coming in on industrial production, we'll see that we did have a bit of a blip last month on industrial production. And so any continuation to the top side here will be viewed by the market as very positive. And if the market needed any positivity right now, it's right now. So a beat tonight at 9 o'clock that breaks this 6 month trend would be very, very good for the market. And a continuation of expansion here in industrial production would be very, very good for the market. My personal forecast is that we're not going to get it. I'm looking for this number to come in lower here, and I'm looking for this number to come in pretty much on target. And this number here, I'm going to say is going to be on target too, but you know, I really don't know what's going to happen. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. These numbers coming out of China are, you know, Lord knows how accurate they are when they come from the National Bureau of Statistics. I usually trust the, you know, like the KLX or, you know, other independent Chinese data sources rather than National Bureau of Statistics. But that being said, forget about all that. I'm not going to get into that. Doesn't matter. How do we profit from it? And the best way we're going to profit from it is we're going to have a target down here of 182.63. I'm going to remain that intact. Now, I'm actually really seriously hoping that the number comes in good because I would love to add to my existing short positions and I would love to see the market come back up here to 195-ish. So I'm personally rooting that I'm wrong because I really haven't had too much opportunity since the end of the year to add to any short positions. I was hoping this little rally here was going to bring me back up into the 198-ish area, and I was going to be able to get short 198, 199. I was really hoping we got back up to 199.42 before we tested 183. But I do believe 183 is going to be tested, whether it's this week or next week, I'm not sure. It all is going to depend on the data coming out tonight from these Chinese numbers. Now, if this data is bad, we will test it this week because we have absolutely nothing stopping us from that number. Going forward on Wednesday, building permits, and the market again does not care about CPI right now. It's an inflation number, and we already have the Fed hike out of the way. So what the market is really going to pay attention to is the Philly Fed manufacturing index, okay? You've got to know what's important at what time, folks, okay? Don't just look at these this fundamentals and say, oh, employment claims are really super important. No, they're not. They're only important in the right context, okay? So that is my projection for the week. I'm looking for the the test of the spider at 182.4. I will decide on how aggressive I'm going to be on that trade as soon as I see the numbers in 4 hours from now. So hope you enjoyed that and come back for lots of live trading action. Bye for now.